So a lot of people are talking about the Fever moving on from Katie Lou Samuelson and trying to trade her. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about, is that even possible to do? Should they look towards doing it? Or is it something that is just so far-fetched and next to impossible that people should just stop thinking about it right now? Before we get on to that, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to just gain that 1 subscriber back. That would be absolutely incredible. But we're going to talk a little bit about Katie Lou Samuelson. Because what type of player is Katie Lou? What have we seen so far from her? And an iffy, unrivaled showing in the first game. I don't like the team she's on. The positive thing is she's on the worst team in Unrivaled. So there is a possibility that that she could step up a little bit. I didn't think she was that bad in the first game in Unrivaled. I thought she at least tried. Like, she got cooked a few times. Her perimeter defense is horrendous. She got cooked a few times, but she worked hard. She got a few nice offensive boards. A little bit disappointed when she got the free throw line that she bricked the free throw, but you know what? Like, it is what it is. But I'm looking at Reddit threads, right? A Reddit thread right here. It's like, how could the Fever trade Katie Lou Samuelson? It seems like she's a good teammate, but not worth 180k. How can the Fever get out of this contract? It's a 1-year deal, so I think it's not going to be as hard to get out of that contract as people think. But also, because it's a 1-year deal, you're not going to see something like what happens with a lot of bad contracts where a team might attach an asset to the contract. Because, for me, the only reason you would get off that contract is if you're looking to, like, pay a free agent or something. And I don't know if there's a free agent that's really going to be absolutely game-changing that's worth giving an asset up for that will come to the Fever. The only way I could maybe see her going is if it's kind of a salary matcher type trade. So, for example, it's not going to happen, but if Kelsey Mitchell wants to go, you can go to Washington and be like, okay, give us Ariel Atkins and Dolson. Kelsey Mitchell's obviously the prize here. Give us the 2 of those players there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add in Katie Lou, basically, so it's a 2-for-1 contract, but you guys get Katie Lou Samuelson because it matches contracts. It's basically why Mariah Jefferson had to be added into the Marina Mabrey trade, because Marina Mabrey was making way more money than Rachel Banham, so they had to add Mariah Jefferson in to her bad contract just to kind of make ends meet, so that the Connecticut Sun got off her contract. So that's pretty much, I think, the only way. So people are just going to be, I'm reading through this, they have to give up picks or to sweeten the deal, or no one's taking Katie Lou. He's performed as an 8-12 rotation player for a year now, plus Unrivaled forms look even worse. It's 1 game, but she didn't look great in Unrivaled, but at the same time, she's playing as like a 2. And yeah, someone says it has to make sense for both teams. Underperforming player on a bad contract. There are many that fit that description, such as one of the bigs from Dallas, but they don't fit the Fevers. Someone said it would be pretty close to impossible. No one is taking her. Just hope she can contribute some meaningful minutes. It's impossible to trade for her. Lynn Dunn and Christy Sides called the problem. I mean, Lynn Dunn, like, as awful coaching would say, like, there is like some form of basketball terrorism committed by Christy Sides and Lynn Dunn over the last couple of years. Like, I blame Lynn Dunn for it all, because look, Christy Sides was never a WNBA level coach. She should never have got the job in the first place. And like Lynn Dunn giving max contracts to Erica Wheeler, Katie Lou Samuelson, and like she gave a max contract to Erica Wheeler and Katie Lou. She gave Katie Lou a max contract while cutting Alana Smith and what's her name? Jesus, I forgot her name. She plays for the Mystics. Emily Engstler. She cut Emily Engstler. Emily Engstler was her 4th pick. She picked Emily Engstler in the draft and then cut her after a year. And Emily Engstler is like 100 times better version of Katie Lou. And then gave Katie Lou a max contract. It's mad. Oh, she gave Katie Lou a max contract after not playing basketball for a year. Like, Lynn Dunn, what have you done? What have you done in basketball? But like, you really do just have to look at players potentially in that 2026 class that are at similar salaries to Katie Lou. The teams might want to dump. So the only real way the team's going to get off Katie Lou Samuelson's contract, and I still think Katie Lou's going to be 100 times more productive next year than she was last year, is like, if you're looking at where she is here, like the Knicks or the Liberty aren't going to get off Benijah Laney, Courtney Williams, no. Like, of players on similar contracts, when they're healthy, there's nobody here. Like, Azare maybe, but unlikely, I guess. Like, Tierra McCowan. They're not gonna. The FIFA aren't gonna want Tierra McCowan back. Like there's just nobody at that similar price tag. But again, if you can combine Dolson and Ariel Atkins for her and Mitchell, and that's only if Kelsey Mitchell wants to leave. You don't do that. Like, you're not going to get Steph Talbot. You're obviously not going to get Ray Burrell. You're not going to get Carlton. They're kind of screwed. Like, they're kind of screwed. There is no player that makes a similar amount of money that's going to be underperforming as much as Katie Lou. Like, maybe it could be a situation where, like, even if we're looking at, say, 2025 free agents, someone that could be paid that money, that might be, like, available in a trade. Let's just say a team overpays Izzy Harrison. Or a team overpays Maisha Hines-Allen again. And they're like, you know what? We're not going to be great. Let's just take a second. Let's go Maisha Hines-Allen at the trade deadline, mid-season. Let's go Maisha Hines-Allen in a second for Katie Lou. Like, something along those lines if she's underperforming. Maybe Cheyenne Parker-Tyus. Maybe she's doesn't perform like she can, and a team does something like that. Maybe Ariel Powers is available, and you can make that type of trade, but that's only if they're being overpaid. Like, somebody in this, the only chance, because nobody in last year's free agency class, or next year's free agency class, is going to be bad enough that there's going to be a Katie Lou trade. It's basically going to have to be, someone is going to have to be overpaid. Like, there's going to have to be an overpaid player somewhere who's just not playing particularly well, and then they're going to have to, like, the Fever are going to have to think maybe they fit better than Katie Lou. But that's the only way that Katie Lou is going to be gone from the Indiana Fever. There's a near 0% chance. And I don't hate it that much. Like, I really don't hate it that much, because Katie Lou Samuelson is going to be a solid bench player, and I'd rather the Fever not give up assets. Like, that's just my opinion of it all. I think the Fever, their goal should be not necessarily to win next year. Their goal should be to win every year, but their long-term goal should be, rather than trying to go out of their way to win next year, it should be try to win 4-5 championships in the next 10 years. Like, that really is what the goal should be, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it, lads, with the Katie Lou thing. Like, a lot of people are thinking the FIFA need to get off Katie Lou. Impossible. It is not a possibility. If it was a possibility, then I think the Fever would have already done it. They would have done it at the trade deadline last year, and Katie Lou would no longer be a member of the Fever. But right now, I just think that it's very unlikely, and maybe closer to trade deadline, just for a matching contracts, there could be an underperforming player, and a team could want a second. But until that happens, I think it's extremely, extremely unlikely that Katie Lou Samuelson is not a member of the Fever. So if you're a Fever fan, instead of trying to get rid of Katie Lou, you really have to just hope that she starts picking it up and playing a bit better. If anything, she's moving she's moving a bit faster. Like, as much slow as she looked in Unrivaled, she looked faster than she did in the W season last year. So if anything, she's improved in that way. But anyway, I'll see you guys.